Now, I know I says we're doing Mario Kart today, and we are, but the reason why we're so late tonight is I was doing something else, and I was like, oh shit, I still got to do Animal Crossing tonight. So I booted up Animal Crossing, and I was working on it, and I was like, okay, I think I finished up with Animal Crossing. I finished the other thing I was running in the background. I think we're all good to. I think I'm all good to stream tonight. And then I found Gulliver and was like, fuck. You know what, fuck it, let's just get these Gulliver pieces on stream, shall we? I'm getting close to having done all... Let's go get this real quick. I'm getting close to having done all the Gulliver things. I don't know how many more I'm missing. It's clearly... Because I've done them like another dozen times. Okay, not maybe a dozen, but like definitely like 5 or 6 times since we last left off in the series. Yeah, let's take care of Gulliver real quick, which is going to take a hot minute. This will be our little introduction, and then we'll switch over to Mario Kart. I was thinking about doing Mario Golf again this week, like we did last week. And then I was like, nah, I'm good. I mean, I haven't touched it since we played it last week. But I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't need Mario Golf. Let's do some Kart. I don't think we've ever done Kart in chat. Which, I know we could call it Mario Kart in chat. Nah, let's just call it Kart in chat. Because I like that better. So, yeah, let's go help Gulliver out real quick. Do his stupid shit. Yeah. It, for me, has been such a exhausting day. I am so tired. Oh my god. It's been such a busy day. And the next 2 days are all equally so busy. But yeah, the next 2 days are busy. Today was just exhausting and stressful. And I know last week I talked about potentially pushing this off till next week. But then I have something to do tomorrow. So nope, we're doing this here. We're doing this now against my better judgment. I want today to be shorter. It's not going... I can't do these under 2 hours to save my fucking life. I mean, you know, I use splits to keep track of everything. Theoretically, I could just split myself to like time it to try to do one of these shows under an hour. Oh, look, it's Cicada Shell. I was actually thinking of doing you know how like I have all the different sharks in the house storage? I was actually thinking of doing that, but for all the summer bugs, cuz I have like 1 or 2 of them. Of like the palm tree bugs, and I was like, oh, maybe I should get all the others. But I decided not to. Or at least as of this moment, I just don't have the time to do that. But yeah, I've just been so busy today. And I know Mario Kart's maybe not the most relaxing thing I can do, but Ooblets isn't on Switch. As far as I know, Ooblets isn't on any of these consoles, so yeah, that's kind of out of frame of reference for me. Oh, hey, Sid. Here's a gift. I also got to give one to Peck. I think since the last time we streamed Animal Crossing, I got Marshall's portrait, which took well over a month. I got Pietro's portrait, which took 2 weeks, probably. And I also... there's Peck. I'll show it off here in a second. Oh gosh, one day I don't think that happened on stream. I gave away my money tree. I gave it away to Pietro on accident. Cousin Pietro. I should probably stop by and see. But yeah, the other thing I finally got the last 2 emotes. Inspiration and I think Flourish. Those were the 2 emotes I was missing because we've never had, or because for as much as I like Axel, he never gave us an emote. And for as much as I like Octavian, he never gave us an emote either. So those were the 2 emotes we were missing. And those 2 little biddies, Pack and Sid, finally gave us the last 2. So I now have every emote in the game, finally. Still missing so many DIYs. I've never checked, but I know I'm missing a ton. And I know a lot of them are behind Pack, Sid, and Pietro/Marshall. Probably a majority of them have the ones I'm missing. Which I've never actually checked to see what I'm missing. Maybe one of these days. Come on, this is the worst beach to find these DIY parts. Or to find these computer parts. We're still missing 2. Come on, work with me. There's a reason we did this on stream. Or there's a reason I was like, you know what, I might as well not delay it another 10 minutes. Because this is going to take forever. Yeah, it's been a slow-ish news week. I have a few stories, of course. Some are less developed than others. There's mainly one big one. But yeah, it's been a slower week. I have some personal stories. We're gonna talk about an anime today, because even though I've been super busy, I did put aside, basically in my breaks in between working on shit, I was like, I'm gonna watch like an episode or 2 or 3 of anime, and over the span of like a week or 2, that adds up. So I finished an anime, and we're gonna talk about it. One of my favorites, actually. And there's a few other TV shows I've been working on as well that I finished. No video games, but... Because, well, okay, there is one thing, but we'll talk about it when we get there. It actually does relate to Animal Crossing. But we'll talk about it when we get there. Come on, I'm only missing 1, right? Because I still gotta help out Gulliver to get that golden shovel. It's stupid. Anything? Come on. Here it is. No, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. There we go. Oh, it's a leaf bug. Hey, Gulliver, take your shit, give me shit. Because I know, I don't know how many items Gulliver has, but I know I haven't gotten all of them. I'm still pretty sure I'm missing. Maybe I could be wrong about this. But I'm pretty sure I'm missing Stonehenge. You know what that made me think of for some rant? Just saying I'm missing Stonehenge. Remember, so back when I was doing Animal Crossing, I mentioned that some guy was recreating the entirety of Animal Crossing or the entirety of Hamilton and Animal Crossing. I think we talked about that, right? He finished just a few, like, I think less than a month ago. He finally finished recreating the entirety of Hamilton and Animal Crossing, and he uploaded it as one giant video. Yep. Really rather impressive, if you ask me. Ooh, look at that. Dark Rose Reef? Not bad. Yeah, that happened, which is really cool, actually. Yeah, I watched the first few of those, and eventually I had to, like, eventually I was like, nah, I'm good. Even though I'd be down to, it's 3 hours plus, I think. Alright, the shop is closed right now, so... yeah, I guess that's it. Let's switch over to Kart. But yes, the guy finished the entirety of Hamilton and Animal Crossing. And I was surprised to see it. Because he finished it a while ago, but I didn't actually hear that they finished it until, like, just a few days ago. Alright. There's that. And then I gotta remember to do Smash Bros. Tonight. We're not gonna do it, obviously, on stream. But I gotta... there's new Smash Bros. Spirits. And I know we're still missing that freaking Dragon Quest Stories one. But there is still a new spirit. And you know me trying to collect all the spirits. Alright. Let's do some Mario Kart, shall we? Just some... we could tackle online. Maybe later. Let's just do some So this is where I stand. I've done all of these. We're all good here. And then we get here. I fucking suck at 200cc. I'm just like... I used to be good at Mario Kart. It's all gone now. I'm no Drift King. I mean, I still really like the game and still pretty decent. But, nah. Is there a way to just do... if I just do, like, versus races, can I just do random ones? This is the card. This is the character I play always. Let's do one. No teams. Normal items. Normal com. Yeah, we can do hard comms. All vehicles, courses, random. And let's just not have to worry about it. Just do a full 12. So yeah, yeah, I just like Mario Kart. It's a fun game. I haven't played it. I didn't play it for 5 years, and most of my skills were all gone by the time I got back. So yeah. But yeah, let's get into the news tonight. Our first story. I'm trying to load it up. Our first story tonight is it's a quick one. This technically doesn't have that much news on it, but Fall Guys Season 5 has been announced. It's, as you know, I'm still a big fan of Fall Guys. Assuming the season comes out soon, we will be doing the next season of Fall Guys. We will presumably be streaming a lot of Fall Guys after this. But yeah, the new season of Fall Guys, so they went from... so Season 1 was great. Season 2 was not that great. But Season 3 was pretty decent, and Season 4 was even better. Season 4 was like sci-fi. So the question is now, what's season... Or season 4 was sci-fi, so what's season 5? It's future-themed. So season... God damn it, I'm tongue-twisting myself. Season 4 was sci-fi, like future theme, cyberpunk. Season 5 is jungle, like jungle exploration. Because season 4 was cyberpunk. Now season 5 is Phantom Abyss. Phantom Abyss is that game that's like a jungle. It's like a temple runner style thing, where you're like racing through a temple to try to and if you like die, you get kicked out of the temple forever. And there's like infinitely random generated levels, but once you play a level, you can never play it again or whatever. And only one person can beat any one given level. Yeah, that game. That's a thing, I guess. Oh, wow. Neat. So yeah, that's our new Fall Guy season. It's like temple, jungle, abyss themed. Not a terrible theme in theory. I mean, it's got potential. It's just how do they use that potential? That's the bigger question. If they screw it up, I would in no way be surprised. I don't know, man. I still enjoy... I know a lot of people decry Dead Game. I'm not one of them. I still really enjoy Fall Guys. Personally, I still think it's very fun. But the season definitely went on for a long time, and I'm ready for something new. Gosh, dang it, right as we use that to take out Larry. Oh my gosh. Right there at the end. But yeah, the new season, Temple Run, sure, cool. I think there's a live stream in like 3 days that has to deal with it. I mean, I'm only half paying attention right now to Mario Kart, which is admittedly the name of the game. But yeah, I guess I'm down. I'll see where they go from it. I'm less like the Cyberpunk has so much potential for costumes, and then I feel like a lot of them just kind of underwhelmed. Like there were some good ones, sure, but there were also a lot of ones where I was like, really? This is just like tech stuff? Really? That's the costume? That kind of sucks. I was hoping for something more interesting, and nope. But there were some good ones, and I did actually complete the Fall Guys season, which I completed the first one, which was a nightmare. And because of the new achievement system they added in season 4, season 4 went a lot easier. And so I'm sure, assuming they didn't nerf it, which again, Fall Guys is now owned by Epic Games, so if something fucks up, I will blame everything on Epic Games, and it could. Of course, I do also think that, of course, eventually the game is also coming to Switch, which, if I had to guess, is going to happen at... Originally, I was predicting that the next season, this season, was going to get us the new Fall Guys stuff. Or was going to get it right, the cross-platform, which, again, there is kind of some elements of cross-platform, but I think it's completely random. But I'm assuming from here on out, the next season is going to have cross-platform, or season 6, which will be in, I don't know, a few months probably, and that's probably when it comes to other systems. Will I pick it up again on Switch? I don't know. Oh, come on. Next up, so we all love some Smash Bros, right? We all love us some Smash Bros. And we love us some Nickelodeon cartoons. I personally do. At least I did. Out of the 3 major networks, I think Nickelodeon is the one I give the least shits about nowadays. Because I am a cartoon guy. I reviewed shows like Steven and Star and other things for many years. I don't think I ever touched a single thing from Nickelodeon. I know they have the Loud House. I know people like... Come on. I know people like the Loud House. I've never seen it. That's kind of a lie. I have seen like 1 or 2 episodes. I know people like it. I don't know. Yeah. Cartoon Network was always way more interesting. even though I don't watch them anymore. In Disney, I need to watch the Owl House. I guess something happened with, like, the Owl House recent... Because there was... Oh, it's Infinity Train. It was Cartoon Network, and now it's HBO Max Infinity Train. It, like, kept getting, like, canceled, and then it got a new season, and then it got canceled again. It was just a nightmare. That show's production has been, like, a nightmare. Nothing out of the ordinary for Cartoon Network, you know? The network that only aired Teen Titans Go. Did they ever... Because I know they talked about bringing back the original Teen Titans, which I don't even think is something we needed, honestly. Did that ever even happen? Because I know the end of the Teen Titans Go movie... which the Teen Titans Go movie was good. But, at the end of the movie talked about that. And then I don't think they ever did anything with it, which was always weird. But yeah, I don't know. And then, yeah, I need to watch Owl House. Because I've heard nothing but good things. But there's some controversy around its third, like, I guess it's in the middle of its, or it just started. It's like a few episodes into its second season right now. But I guess something happened with, like, I guess it's like third season. Something happened with its third season. And they were originally planning like 4 seasons. So something got screwed up at some point. And I don't know. But we were talking about Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon used to be good, and then they drove all of their shows into the fucking ground. Fairly Odd Parents got like 5 more seasons than it needed. SpongeBob got 20, and with Steven Hillenburg's passing, I hope I'm saying that right. I don't think I am. It's now they're now starting that Patrick Star show and Camp Coral and all the other stupid SpongeBob spin-offs. So yeah, Nickelodeon just sucks. And this is not good boastings, basically. But they're making so Nickelodeon has had a kart racing game. I don't remember what it's called. God, blue shells are aggressive tonight. Yeah, Nickelodeon has had a kart racing game that I don't think is actually that good. From everything I've heard, it's not actually that good of a kart racer. But they announced they're doing a fighting game. The idea of a Nickelodeon fighting game, much like Smash Bros, is a great idea. Right? It's just like, hey, using all the different Nickelodeon characters and putting them all in one game to fight each other or to kart race each other. Which, again, the idea of a Nickelodeon kart racer, oh, that sounds fun. Right? I wish Nintendo would do a kart racer with all their characters. Instead of just Mario characters in, like, 3 other franchises. Kind of 4. It's a mess. But, so it's a Nickelodeon fighting game, and it looks to be very Smash Bros. Like, we don't actually know how it works yet, but it looks like if it was just like a Smash Bros ripoff, a 2-button fighter, right, where it just worked like Smash Bros, where characters had all their different tilts and everything, that would, I don't think, surprise anybody. In fact, I think that's what people want. I think people would be happier with this game if it just ripped off Smash Bros. And I kind of agree. I probably would also be happy with this game if it just ripped off Smash Bros. And, like, of course, it'll never be as good as Smash Bros. It takes a true genius, madman, to make Smash Bros, right? Sakurai has a certain level to him, a certain dedication that very few other people have. And I don't think you can get someone making a Nickelodeon kart racer or a Nickelodeon fighting game that has that same dedication. But, you know, a Smash Bros. Ripoff could be fun. The art style, I don't know. Some of the characters I think looked fine. Other ones, I'm like Danny Phantom, I'm just like, that looks terrible. The actual character choice so far, they only revealed, I want to say like 12 characters, and they're hinting at more. I know Patrick, SpongeBob, and Sandy, Powdered Toast Man, that's okay, that's cool. Danny Phantom's definitely one of them. Nothing from Fairly Odd Parents so far. nothing from nothing from Fairly Odd Parents, nothing from Jimmy Neutron either. I think there's 2 characters from the Loud House, Reptar from Rugrats, which is a great pick. That's a great character choice. And there was another. There were 12. I don't remember. Zim. Did I say Zim already? Zim is one. That's another good choice. I don't know. If they really just make this all about all the history of Nickelodeon and like all the different character potential, I do think this could be something great. I really do agree with that this could be fantastic. Will they actually do that? How far is this going to go? I don't know. It could go far. It could go far, and I don't know. I have hopes. Will I pick this up? No, of course not. But I think this could be cool. A Nickelodeon fighting game could be cool. People are praising... I guess it has something like netcode or... what was it? It was rollback netcode, which means that it... From what I understand, rollback netcode is like... It's just good netcode that like most other fighting games have. You know, basically most of them except for Smash Bros. So people are excited for that, hey, you know, the online will probably be good. Again, Smash Bros. Online is terrible. Yeah, we all know it. Peer-to-peer just doesn't work. Yeah, and then of course Smash Bros. Fans should be happy because there's this big joke in the it's not like on one hand it's a joke, but on the other hand people take it way too fucking seriously about the different characters that get into Smash Bros. It's like Scrimble Bimble versus JRPG McSwordman, and like there's this whole like meme about Smash Bros. Fans. It's a meme, but it's also true that Smash Bros. Fans hate JRPG sword characters, even though again Smash Bros. Is a Japanese fighting game. So yeah, it's just a fucking mess, and the joke here is that, oh well, it's a Nickelodeon game, so every character is a Scrimble Bimble like platformer stuff, because Scrimble Bimble or whatever it's called is like Crash Bandicoot, whereas JRPG McSwordman is another Fire Emblem character. But yeah, I think this is fine. I think this. Yeah, I probably won't play it unless it gets, like, great reviews. Maybe if it gets great reviews, then yeah, I'm down. But I don't expect it to. I expect it to get the same reviews Skyward Sword HD is getting, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. People are excited, and I get it. I get being excited for this. There are worse things to be excited for. There are worse fuck-ups, right? There are worse games. But I did not hear good things about that Nickelodeon kart racing game from a few years ago. I for sure did not. So next up, Joy-Cons. So, right, Joy-Con drift is a major problem. Every set of Joy-Cons I have ever... oh, gosh. What am I? Oh. Okay, nothing I care about. Every set of Joy-Cons I ever owned do drift. I had a friend who fixed up Joy-Cons, sent them in. He actually broke one of my Joy-Cons, which, yeah, that sucked. But, I mean, he replaced it. He like messed up something on the motherboard, and it looks the same, but it like now registers black, which is, yeah. But yeah, Joy-Con drift is a real fucking problem. And something that Nintendo really needs to address, but they haven't. And God damn it, I'm thinking of that stupid Hot Diggity Demon video where he's making fun of Miyamoto, who's like, oh, if Joy-Con drift isn't real, then why are you getting a new set of Joy-Cons? Of course, he puts it a lot more offensively than I did, but it's Hot Diggity Demon. What else do you expect? Like, real talk. But so there was this video that came out recently about how someone has fixed Joy-Con drift by just putting a 1mm piece of cardboard, like, under the stick. Like, they open up the Joy-Con, put a 1mm piece of cardboard in the Joy-Con, and then put it back together, and it fixed the Joy-Con drift. Yeah, that was a big news story this week. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description when I archive this later. But yeah, that was the big news story this week, that, hey, this guy found a solution to Joy-Con drift. He figured it out a few months ago, and it works, because it's been working. They tested it a few months ago, and their Joy-Con hasn't drifted since. And I still have... So I sent in one pair of Joy-Cons to fix, but I have two others that both drift. One drifts, the other one is terrible, and then my Pro Controller is also broken. Which, if I could fix my because the Pro Controller is a great controller. If I could fix my Pro Controller, that would be fantastic, but I don't think that's an option. But hey, this drift problem fix, if this works, this is great. Because, you know, when I saw this story come out, it got me thinking, wasn't there something about when the Switch first came out, wasn't there like people were having issues with it? And wasn't there like a solution where, like, if you sent your controllers to Nintendo, they just put like a piece of cotton in the controller, and for some reason that fixed the problem? Like, wasn't it like a connectivity issue or something? And boom, you'd send your controller to Nintendo, and they put like a piece of cotton in there, and it would fix the connectivity issue. It's the same thing here. And hopefully Nintendo or somebody notices this, and in future iterations of... Because I think later on, in later iterations of Joy-Cons, they did fix that connectivity issue problem. They did fix that. They did something, like they put some more space in there or something, like which was what the cotton was doing, and it fixed the issue. So hope maybe in like the future they'll put a little bit more, like they'll put like a little like piece of plastic or something in there, and that'll potentially fix the issue for future installments of Joy-Cons. Of course, for the Switch OLED, we're screwed, but hey, there's always Switch Pro, which I still think is coming next year, but... yeah. But yeah, if this fix... I haven't tested it yet. I don't actually have the tools. I don't... The person I know who fixed my Joy-Cons hasn't tested it either. But I just think it's neat, right? Like, hey, if this is a fix, this might be worth putting in some... Right, this is definitely worth looking into, and this seems a lot easier to fix than actually, like, taking out your controllers and putting in new sticks. This seems like it's a lot easier to fix. So who knows? Maybe one day I'll get back to you on this. But it's the big news story, because yeah, Joy-Con, Nintendo is usually so good. Yeah, well, you know what, we say that, but okay, I do have Nintendo stories that relate to this. My Game Boy from 1990, oh god, I couldn't even tell you the year, still works fine, right? It still works perfectly fine all these years later. My Game Boy Advance still works perfectly fine. Game Boy Advance SP works perfectly fine. Never had a Game Boy Color. But my DS's on the other hand, no. My 1D... So, the big problem was the hinge. So I didn't have an original DS. I had a DS Lite. And on my DS Lite, the hinge broke. And because of that, I started having issues, right? The hinge broke, and then I started having issues. But I had another DS Lite, or my brother had a DS Lite that I now have, because, you know, who plays the DS Lite anymore? So I just, like, took it and put it in with all the other stuff, because he doesn't care. And that thing's hinge is still perfectly fine. But the screen has problems. I was trying to, there's like a whole thing with like transferring Pokemon from Gen 3 over to Gen 4, and I was kind of looking into that, and my DS Lite, just the one that does work, the one that doesn't have the hinge issues, just can't transfer, like, there's like a whole thing where the bottom screen bleeds into the top screen, and there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know why, but for some reason the bottom screen bleeds into the top screen. Like, it's hard to explain, and it's only an issue it's been having recently. Admittedly, I haven't used it in a long time, so that might be it, that it's just laid inactive for many years. But yeah, it just has this issue, and you can only transfer stuff from Gen 3 to Gen 4 with the Game Boy Light. And in my 3DS XL works perfectly fine. Or my new Nintendo 3DS XL works perfectly fine. I think the 3DS XL also, I think, works fine. But my original launch day 3DS, on the other hand, the stick is falling off. Right? Like, remember when people were, like, breaking their sticks after Smash Bros. For 3DS came out? Yeah, I'm having that problem now, where it's, like, slowly falling off. And also, for some reason, I think something is breaking down in the Switch, because it's, like, permanently sticky now. For some reason, the stick in my Switch, or the stick on my 3DS is just permanently sticky. Not on the 3DS XL, not on the new Nintendo 3DS, just on the original Nintendo 3DS. The stick is... The C stick is sticky, and I don't get it. But that's... I know the DS Lite's the major issue, because my DSi XL works perfectly fine. Admittedly, I haven't used it in years, so who knows, maybe it did develop an issue. But my DS works perfectly fine. So yeah, I don't know. I just did not have good luck with the DS Lite. I think that's just my big takeaway, is that the DS Lite did not work as great as I wanted it to. Or at least it hasn't held up unlike other Nintendo systems. Okay. Oh no, we're fine. I was like, I'm gonna have to boomerang somebody. But yeah. So Joy-Con drift, real fucking problem. Hope Nintendo fixes it. They're obviously not going to with the Switch LED, or the Switch OLED. That's not going to have any fixes as much as we'd want it to. It's not going to. But we can dream. We can dream. But a system that might work better than the Switch, even though it might have the same issues, is the Steam Deck. Which every time I see this thing... So, Elgato sells a product called the Stream Deck. Oh, this is the 9th race. Okay. So, and it's like... The Stream Deck is like this series of like buttons that you can like do certain things. Like, you can like program them to do transitions. You can program them to do... like mute your stream. You can program it to do certain things. I don't know. It's a really neat piece of technology that everyone I know who has one actually really likes it. It's kind of like the oh, what's that? It's not called a soundboard. It's called is it a Go XLR? The Go XLR soundboard or whatever it's called. Everyone I know who has one of those for like streaming and whatnot loves them. God, I hate that turn. There are two turns I really hate in this game. That's one of them, and the other one is in the Mario Kart 8 Rainbow Road. But yeah, so I keep, every time I see this product's name over the past like few days, I keep confusing it with the Elgato thing. And so we knew from Valve, like code inside Steam, that Valve was working on a new system or a new product. At least it was, and we talked about this at the time, a portable Valve product, right? Kind of like the Switch, called, I think it was it codenamed Neptune? I think it was codenamed Neptune. I could be wrong about that, but it was something like that. Well, that product that was that rumored product finally got revealed as the Steam Deck, which is a Steam-style handheld portable system that runs a Steam operating system, and it can basically play your entire Steam library, but Valve is completely open to people, like, modding it, so that way it can run Windows, and, you know, you could put, like, Xbox Game Pass on it, you could put the Epic Game Store, you could put emulators, that I don't legally endorse, right? That you could basically do whatever you want with this thing. Valve has said that they more or less are open to that. And I took the shortcut too early. Valve is, yeah, open to people doing whatever with it, which this, and the price point on this thing, at least the starting price point, is only $400. That's only $100 more than a Switch and $150 more than the Switch OLED. For a starting point, that's pretty great. I think that's a great starting point. Of course, the starting point only has like 64 gigs, and it also like doesn't have like the most amazing hardware. I think the starting point is like maybe on, like, it's just like the starting point is just like a little better, if not on par with the Switch. But from there are two other models that I think go up 100, and then like I think it's like the starting model is like 400, then with like 128 gigs, or maybe it was 200 something gigs, there's like a 500, maybe a 550 model, and I want to say the last model is like 600, 650, and it's got like, I want to say it's got like 500 gigs. It's got SSD. It's got better software. It's got more storage, or it's got better hardware, and it's got better storage. It's overall like the most expensive one is just better overall. And yeah, I think this is a great thing. Like I personally, well, yes, I do have a pretty big Steam library, and like, could you imagine playing Factorio on, like, God, I would love Factorio to come to Switch, but could you imagine playing Factorio on this thing? Like, fuck. Like, I know Factorio, it's like Stardew Valley all over again. Like, Stardew Valley addiction is bad. Factorio addiction on this thing, oh gosh. So to that end, I think this is a neat piece of hardware. And from the initial reactions I've seen for this thing, much like how the initial reactions for the Switch was like, oh, this is a great idea, right? A portable that plays console games, and right, the hybrid, oh, that's a great idea. This has been getting that same reaction. This, like, things like I know the Vita is the progenitor to the Switch, but the Vita just didn't succeed, and the Switch basically gets all the credit for everything, for a lot of stuff the Vita did. This is a real competitor to the Switch, even though again, Nintendo does not compete, and a lot, like, of course, there's that mentality that, like, hey, as a Nintendo fan, you're supposed to, like, oh, this is competition, i.e. this is a bad thing. Which is, of course, that's just how, that's just how Nintendo and Xbox fans work. Right? Xbox fans have been bred into competition because of the war with PlayStation, and Nintendo fans have been bred into competition because of the war with Sega back in the 80s and 90s. That's just how we operate. Even though, company-wise, no, Xbox even put out a statement today being like, hey, we see posts all the time being like, hey, your system sucks compared to the PS5. And what we have to say to that is, good, play games that you enjoy. Yeah, no, Xbox doesn't care about competition anymore. Admittedly, part of that came around because they got their ass kicked last time. But yeah, no, I think it's a good statement. All consoles are good. All consoles are valid. I love me some Nintendo, but goddamn is Xbox Game Pass the best deal in the gaming industry right now. Xbox Game Pass is so fucking good, and especially with them getting xCloud and all that stuff. Yeah, no, Xbox Game Pass is amazing. I definitely squandered my time with it. I had like 9 months of it, and I definitely didn't use it as much as I wanted to. But Xbox Game Pass is so good. And it's got so many great games on it that, yeah, no. The console wars, for all of intensive purposes, are over. And yeah, and you know what? And the other thing I will say is that I'm not a capitalist. Let's put it like that. I definitely ain't a capitalist, but I do believe in a regulated market that breeds competition, because competition helps businesses survive. And one of the big problems in the United States is that we have too many fucking monopolies, right? The telecoms, Comcast, Time Warner Cable, those are monopolies. And that's a big fucking problem. But gaming, even though Xbox is buying up a lot of studios, gaming is not a monopoly. And having all these different systems breeds competition. And it's because of that competition that we got something like Xbox Game Pass. Right? That the only reason we got Game Pass is because Microsoft suffered last generation, and they had to do what they could to make up for that lost ground, and they gave us Xbox Game Pass, which is amazing. So yeah, competition is healthy, competition is important, and to that end, I think, yeah, this Steam Deck, fantastic. It's competition for the Nintendo Switch, and I could see other, right, like, I know I always peg Sony for ripping off Nintendo, but like, Xbox, if Xbox did something of a similar vein, I could see that. Even though, again, Game Pass now has xCloud, but if they put out like a Chromecast style device that supported xCloud, that they could try to treat as like a competition to the Switch or whatever, yeah, no, I could see that. Even though, again, xCloud on like your phone is kind of a competition to Switch. I just think, yeah, Xbox, the competition is healthy. So to that end, this Steam Deck being competition for the Switch, this will, right, if this is really popular, this will force Nintendo to kick it into high gear. I have no interest in buying one as of this moment, but who knows, in like a year or two, maybe I will. I don't know. Personally, at the moment, I've been saying I need to build a PC. I know I've been saving money for a lot of things, and I did actually spend some of that money. That's our next story. But I did... Oh, that ball bomb's gonna fuck me. But I have also... I've saved several bits of money. Especially because I haven't really been buying... I mean, okay, yes, I did buy Mario Kart and I did buy Skyward Sword, but... I'm terrible. Didn't buy an amiibo, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, I think competition is healthy. This thing looks really cool. The design's a little... Like, the joysticks... Like, I've seen people complain that, like... That the joysticks are too high up. Which... I guess IGN got some hands-on time with this thing, and yeah, they had no problem with it personally, but the joysticks look very high up. There's a trackpad on this thing, which will do mouse or keyboard, or however they're going to do it. I guess this thing does have Bluetooth, so it supports controllers. Because, you know, right now Steam can use it can use a PS5 controller, it can use an Xbox controller. I've used a Pro controller on Steam before, and I've used my Xbox controller. I bought back when I used to be a little bigger into PC gaming, I bought an Xbox controller just to have a controller for PC. Yeah. But yeah, it also supposedly might do some form of... Oh, god damn it. It might do they're gonna sell, like, a dock for this thing at some point. That you could hook it up to, like, a monitor of some kind. So this thing will theoretically one day support docked play. I don't think they've given any details on that as of this moment. But they are definitely talking about it like that. So one day, yeah, no, this thing is going to be a fantastic... It at least looks so far like it's going to be a fantastic product. Something's going to go wrong. Oh wow. I wonder what... I honestly thought I had besides for the golden vehicle parts, I thought I had everything else. Huh. Okay. But yeah, I think the Steam Deck looks fantastic. I really do. I think this is a great little device that's has a lot of potential. I don't think it comes out until the end of the year. But yeah, I think this is going to be pretty good. I really do. And I think healthy competition is important. And this is a good competition for Nintendo. And maybe it'll get Nintendo, like when they do the Switch Pro, presumably next year. Yeah, maybe they'll actually pump it into high gear. So I'm going to go get some water and then I'll be right back. So yeah, I'll be back. Give me a minute. Because I'm completely tapped out. And Linux is the best thing about it. I think the best thing about it is that you can use more than just Linux. Do you want to... It comes with Linux by default, but do you want to do Windows on it? Go ahead. That openness to do whatever, that's, I think, the best thing. Yeah, that is true. Linux is optimized. Have you ever seen that? Oh my god. Have you ever seen that 4chan post about Linux? Where it's like the guy's in like a computer class and he boots up his laptop on Linux. And then then he has to like... And then he ends up like breaking down because it's not running properly and he gets 1,000 error messages. And then he installs GIMP, but he can't draw a circle. What a classic 4chan post. Oh, hey, look, we got a dandelion. That's cute. I don't know. I've never used Linux. Nah. Oh, yeah, random. Let's just do 8 races this time. But yeah, so Steam pre-orders for the Steam Deck, I think, went up earlier today. I guess to prevent scalpers, there was like a big process to get one. And it took like several hours to actually get one of these Steam Decks. But I do know at least one person who got one. So, yeah. But you know what? Pre-orders went up yesterday. Oh. The pre-orders that went up yesterday were for the Switch OLED. Now, I know we're playing on Switch right now, but as I only recently found the solution to my problem, that my Switch only runs for about half an hour before crashing. Oh, you got one? Yeah, cool. Sorry. Yeah, don't worry about it. But yeah, so my Switch can only run for about half an hour at a time. It usually then overheats and crashes. I did recently find a temporary solution to that problem, but it's temporary. So I'm one of the people this Switch OLED appeals to because, you know, I still love Nintendo games and having a working Switch that I don't have to worry about breaking every 30 minutes would be nice. So I stayed up yesterday for 24 hours because I had a project due in class yesterday. So I stayed up all night And then I turn in my project at, what was it, like 7, 8 a.m. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to bed now. Yes, finally, I can rest. I go to bed, and I'm like, you know what? I'll check Twitter one last time before I go to bed. And then I see the pre-orders for the Switch OLED go up in just a few hours after that. And I was like, no, shit. So I stayed up another like 5 hours waiting for the Switch OLED pre-orders, which happened at like noon yesterday. And so yeah, the pre-orders went up. And now I know this isn't like, because this isn't for everybody. Like if this was a Switch Pro, this thing would be near impossible to find. But this isn't the Switch Pro. This is just the Switch OLED. This is a product for people who either don't have a Switch or have a broken Switch, like me. Or unless you're like Gary Whitta, who said you weren't going to buy one, and then you just buy one anyways. So I was like, you know what? This, like, pre-orders are going to be easier for this than it would be for a Switch Pro. I know I'm going to have to contend with scalpers, but I've beaten scalpers in the past, right? I know I don't have a PS5, but I have definitely beaten scalpers on more than one occasion. Those were the times. But, so, this thing went up for pre-order, and I was waiting for it, and it first goes up on GameStop. And I'm like, oh, you know what? All right, I think it first went up at Walmart. Fuck Walmart. Walmart is, out of all the websites that do the pre-order bullshit, Walmart is the fucking worst. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother with Walmart. Then GameStop went up at, like, a few minutes after 1. Because Walmart went up early. Hey, Whitney. So GameStop goes up, and I try to pre-order it. I see the button there. I try to hit add to cart. It just won't let me. I try for a few minutes. It refuses to let me add to cart. And then eventually it pops a message that's something along the lines of, hey, unless you're a GameStop Pro subscription member, you can't pre-order this product. And the second I saw that message, I was like, nope, fuck GameStop. Yeah, fuck this. So I abandoned GameStop. 10-ish minutes later, Best Buy goes up. Best Buy has usually, you know, it's, well, okay, I say that, but Best Buy and Target are the two best ones for me. Target does amiibos fantastically. I have literally only ever had 2 problems with amiibos at Target. One of them was yesterday or this morning, and we'll talk about that. But Best Buy has also been pretty good to me. So I was like, you know what, I'll probably be fine at Best Buy. So I focus on Best Buy, they go up, and they actually, instead of doing like, you know, just like, hey, scalpers, all for one, whatever, you instead, when you click the purchase button, it puts you in like a little queue, and then you had to like wait for the purchase button to show up again, and then you could pre-order the product. So they tried to do something to fight scalpers. Good on Best Buy, you know what? Good for them. So I'm waiting there, and I see the message, right, I pre-order, and I'm waiting for them to give me the thing. And then I see the message that like, hey, I can click the button again and pre-order. I'm like, great. So I click the thing, I add it to my cart, I'm in checkout, and I had entered all my information weeks ago when the Switch OLED was revealed, because I knew I was getting this thing. So I was like, okay, I should just be able to hit the button and buy it. Best Buy, for the first time ever, presumably as an anti-scalping measure, is like, hey, we have to verify that this is you. We're going to send you a verification give and a verification text to prove that you are who you say you are. Give us the number. So it's like, okay, I do the verification text, I get the number, it takes a minute, I put the number in, go to checkout, my cart's empty. I had it in my cart, ready to I hit the checkout button, card information, all that. Best Buy ripped it away from me by making me fill out a verification text. Fuck. I was so pissed off because I had it. And that verification text ruined everything. And then, so once it rips me off that time, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to stay in Best Buy's queue. I stayed on Best Buy for about an hour. It went in the Switch Pro or the Switch OLED. God, I'm not used to saying it as Switch Pro. Switch in like 20 minutes later, it goes up. A few go up again. I'm able to get it in my cart again, but this time it refuses to let me check out because they're only doing in-store pickup, but they're not letting me pick up at any of my one local Best Buy. I even tried to do it the Best Buy at the next town over. Nope, wouldn't let me do that. So it's like, okay, second time I got screwed over. Third time I tried again, and I think it didn't let me get it in my cart or whatever. So after like an hour on Best Buy, nothing. Complete failure. And then I think after that hour went up, it goes up at Target. But what happens with Target is that I have the Target page loaded, and I've been refreshing it every once in a while. So I see and I've been waiting. So Target had, like, Best Buy and GameStop had pages for the Switch LED or OLED prior to release, right? Prior to the pre-orders. Target and Amazon didn't. So the second I saw the pages go live, I was like, okay, the pages are live. Well, I'm going to open up the page and wait for it to pre-order. Second I open up the page, it's open for pre-order. And I'm like, okay, check out. Boom, and I got it. I got it at Target. So Target fucking worked for me. I got it before Wario64 had even tweeted about it. That's how fast I was. Just because I just got lucky. Like, I had just refreshed Target's page, and sure enough, the page had just been created. I got super lucky with that. I think that's the first time because Wario64 is a fantastic resource, but I think that's the first time I've ever beaten him to the punch on something. But yeah, I got my Switch OLED at Target. I don't think it arrives for like a few days after the 8th. Like, I don't think it arrives until like, I think like the following week. Even though, again, I got the pre-order in super fast. But yeah, I have no problem with that. Again, as long as I get it and I will have a working Switch at some point, I don't really care when. Like, I'm not, right? Like, I'm not too in a rush to like get this thing. And you know, I know Target's infamous for sending out stuff early. The Amiibos that just came out today is an example. Everyone I saw who got it early from Target. Oh, and the one other thing I will say about Best Buy real quick, though, I might as well say this, is so I wanted the white one, right? There's the one with the black with the colored Joy-Cons. I don't need that. That's the Switch, that's the normal Switch. Don't need that. I'm good. But the white one, that's the new design. That's the one I wanted. I did actually get a chance right while I was loading up the pages to Best Buy. I opened up the page to the one with the red and blue Joy-Cons, and it just let me pre-order it. First try, right? It didn't make me wait in a queue or anything. So if I had wanted one of each, like a white one and another one, I could have done it. Of course, you know, that makes me think back to what I was saying with the PS5. I'm good at beating the bots when it comes to the PS5 most of the time. I should have just bought a PS5 and scalped it. It was a stupid move for me not to do that. I had a dozen opportunities. I should have just done it. But I know what it's like to fight against scalpers. I don't want to be one of those assholes. Because I know what it's like to be on, right? I'm an Amiibo hunter. I know what it's like to deal with those fucks. I don't want to become one of them, but I should have. You know, I could have used the extra money, even though I've been, right, like I said, I've been saving up money for months to buy a Switch Pro, and here we are with the OLED model that's not even a Switch Pro. Maybe I should have bought the Steam Deck. Nah, I'm fine. I'm excited. It comes out, Switch OLED comes out same day as Metroid Dread. Still super excited for that. Still super excited for Breath of the Wild 2, the new Mario Party. There's so many good things. Yeah, no regrets. Yeah, so that's my story with the Switch OLED. I do have another order story, though, that we'll talk about here in a second. So today is the release date for Skyward Sword HD. Skyward Sword, I've said this before, Skyward Sword is it's technically not my first Zelda game, because my first Zelda game is freaking Link's Crossbow Training that I got with, like, when I got my Wii, I got it with one of those, with the Wii, Zapper, whatever it was called. So technically my first Zelda game is Link's Crossbow Training, because I'd never played a Zelda game before that. Just, well, okay, yeah, I'd played a little bit of the original Legend of Zelda. I'd played a little bit of Link to the Past, but that's here and there. I don't really count that. I guess it would be better to say Skyward Sword is the first Zelda game I ever beat. So I love Skyward Sword. It's a personal favorite of mine. Love the game to death. So Skyward Sword HD came out today. I did buy it, but I have been so busy, so exhausted, that I just haven't touched it. Nope, I'll get around to it sometime in the coming August. But I love me some Skyward Sword. But I guess, so I haven't played it today, but I still brought it down here because the reviews came out for Skyward Sword. So when Skyward Sword originally released a decade ago, it got a 93 on Metacritic. Highly right. I know Zelda games always do well. Again, the highest reviewed games of all time are Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild. So, yeah. Zelda games do extremely well. But with Skyward Sword, it got a 93 back in the day. And I personally, there's a lot of good things about Skyward Sword that it does not give credit to. Some of the best dungeons in the Zelda franchise does not get enough credit for that. The world design is, I think graphically, I think the game looks good. The only problem I ever had with the motion controls was not from sword play, but from the shield, right? You had to like shake your nunchuck to use the shield. And that was the problem that tripped me up because my nunchuck was broken. The second I switched it out for a different one, the shield worked fine. I never had a problem with the motion controls in Skyward Sword. Nope. So and I've been waiting for, there's of course evidence of this because I've been streaming for 6 years now, that I bought because my copy of Skyward Sword, I think I traded it into GameStop or it broke. I don't know. I had a bunch of Wii games that broke back in the day, and there was a period where GameStop wouldn't like check, where you could like trade in a game to GameStop that was broken, and like they wouldn't check if it was broken, or at least one of my local ones would. So like games like Kirby's Epic Yarn and New Super Mario Brothers that broke on the Wii, I would just trade them in and they wouldn't know. Because, you know, the disc got scratched up and whatnot. Because as a dumb kid, I did not take best care of my games. Yep. Yeah, Skyward Sword might have been one of those. I might have just traded it in general. But a few years ago, I got another copy of Skyward Sword. But I didn't actually play it, even though I wanted to, because I was waiting for the HD version. Because at the time, there was a rumor about the HD version. I think that was in early 2018. Here we are, 2021. It finally came out, and I don't have the time to play it. But yeah, the new mode, I don't know. I've seen... So the reviews... the original game got a 93 on Metacritic. The new game has, I think, an 80 on OpenCritic, which is definitely more reflective... Which is... An 80 on Metacritic is... or on OpenCritic, I don't use Metacritic anymore, is definitely more reflective of the general consensus of the game. People, YouTubers, really fucking hate Skyward Sword, and they love to tell you about it. I love the game, so of course, fucking Egoraptor, man. There was a clip. There were clips going around this week, just slamming on Egoraptor for being oh, you're the guy who criticized, like, I don't, the whole discourse about like, oh, game critics being bad at games, and like, oh, hey, look, this game got an easy mode. Now game reviewers can actually play it. I think that whole consensus is fucking bullshit. right? You don't have to be good at a game to enjoy it. You don't have to, right? Games should have easy modes or accessibility modes. I feel like games like Celeste and I guess Darkest Dungeon have really figured it out. Oh my gosh. Have really figured it out with their accessibility modes as of recently. But you know, every once in a while you'll still have a game like Mega Man 11 that just doesn't get up. And there are very few games actually like Celeste or whatnot that actually have like good, like adjustable modes. Most of them are like Mega Man 11 that just have like, oh, here's an easy mode, here's a medium, here's a hard. Right, judge this game you've never played and pick a difficulty. Crash Bandicoot did okay from what it seems like. Like, that's what they did with Crash Bandicoot was definitely more... Crash Bandicoot 4, I mean, was definitely more in line with what I want. Not perfect, but definitely better. But yeah. I don't know. We're talking about Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword, it seems like they made a lot of changes. A lot of them for the better. Of course, the big change, there is a big change. They locked behind a fucking amiibo. And, alright, I'm an amiibo collector. I have more or less, I don't have a complete collection, obviously. There's a bunch of shit I don't care about. But, like, I have most of the Smash Bros. Ones. I think the only Zelda ones I'm missing are Bokoblin and Skyward Sword Link. And of course, I was going, even if I wasn't picking up Skyward Sword HD, because I'm an amiibo guy, I was going to pick up the Zelda and Loftwing amiibo. Normally, for what I have done for the past, like, 2 years now, is the day the amiibos come out, I go to Target, and sometimes I can usually place the order, like, the night before, like, at midnight they go up, just walk in, and pick up the amiibo off the store shelves. There's no competition fighting for amiibo anymore. It's super easy. It's what I've been doing for the past, like, 2 years, whenever anything came out. Yeah, amiibo hunting has gotten so much easier because so many people don't give a shit anymore. So for this, I was expecting to do the same thing. I was expecting to go into Target I was expecting last night for the page to go up on Target, because I know they do, like, pre-orders, like, online, but they don't do, like, pre-orders in store. So it's like, okay, you know, and that's how it always works. Like, it'll say, like, hey, this product is sold out, and then that you can, like, place an order online for pickup in store, usually the night before. Of course, I did get screwed over with getting Terry Bogard, a few months ago now. But, you know, other than that, it's worked. However, this time... So, I think the big reason why my strategy that's been working for years now didn't work this time is because there is a shortage of this amiibo. There was I specifically think it has something to do with, like, shipping and COVID, that, like, I guess one of the shipments of the amiibo has been pushed back until next month. So, like, the normal stock of, like, how many would be available is lesser than what it'd normally be. So that's presumably the big reason. Because when I went to, you know, go to the Target website, they didn't have any. When I checked BrickSeek before Target opened this morning, they didn't get any in stores. So my guess is that all the amiibos were all sent online. That's why they didn't have any in person or in stores. I did still try to get one I think it went up last night at Best Buy. I had it in my cart, and they just wouldn't let me check out. It just wouldn't. I had it in my cart. I had everything filled out, and it just refused to let me check out. Because, you know. And then I tried at GameStop. Maybe that was last night. Maybe this was earlier today. And GameStop also, right. I think I had it in my cart, and GameStop just refused to let me check out. And they were gone in, like, a minute less. It was so fucking fast. But yeah, there are shortages of these things. Getting this Loftwing amiibo is probably going to be a goddamn nightmare. And the Skyward Sword Link amiibo that I was hoping they were going to reprint, because, you know, they're re-releasing Skyward Sword, they didn't reprint. because you know they've reprinted the Breath of the Wild champions like half a dozen times at this point. But like some of the other Zelda amiibos, nope, never got a reprint. Bokoblin never got a reprint. I think Zelda and the Horseback Link did at one point. I think probably the Guardian did. But yeah, they just keep doing the champions. It's dumb. It's just because I'm so close to having them all. But yeah, hopefully I will at some point in the next month be able to, because you know, if shipments are delayed until August, maybe sometime in the next month I will be able to get one of these things. I'm gonna keep my eye out. Maybe something will happen. But you know, I'm just keeping my eye out. So yeah, so normally what I do amiibo unboxings on stream, as I have done in months past. Yeah, we're not doing that tonight because I don't actually have it. But who knows, maybe in the future. Yeah, I'm excited to play Skyward Sword HD. I'll get around to it. Of course, there is the total possibility that the game is that because it's my first Zelda game, it definitely doesn't hold up. I'm completely aware of that possibility and will confront it when we get to it. But you know, some of the accessibility feature updates they've made is really good. Of course, the problem with the amiibo is that's still a fucking problem that should be held against the game. And at least, I don't really I read the occasional review, and at least one or two of the reviews I read did mention it and did hold it as a strike. Even though they had the amiibo, because like Nintendo sent it to them or whatever, they did hold it against the game, which is a good thing. Game, that doesn't always happen. It should have just made the bird blue. It should have just made the bird blue. Gosh dang it. That's all they needed to do, was make the bird blue. I don't know. So I guess let's do WIBE next. So what have I been experiencing? What have I been watching specifically? Well, so I guess let's talk anime. I hinted at it earlier. I did watch a little bit of anime, and so one of my favorite animes in recent years is a show called The Quintessential Quintuplets. It's a romance anime that, like, with the premise of this guy is sent to tutor these 5 identical twins, and that he's going to marry one of them in the future. That one of the 5 sisters he will one day marry. It's a good premise. Yeah, it's a good, solid premise. And it's just a fun show. It's a fun show that I really enjoy. And its second season... Yeah, let's just do another 8. Its second season premiered, I think, earlier this year. But I didn't get around to it at the time. So I was like, I was looking at something the other day, and I saw that its second season was up and everything, and I was like, you know what? I think because I'm a dub guy, you know, there's nothing I don't right. Just let people enjoy things how they want. I'm a dub guy. I saw that the dub was completed, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch that. So I watched the dub, and I rewatched the first season as well. I've been working on this for about 2 weeks now, just slowly off and on. And, you know, first season's still really good. Second season's... So, one of the complaints I had seen about the second season is that the animation got a downgrade. And that's kind of true. Like, in some ways, the animation is, like, worse. But I don't think it's that, like, worse. Like, it definitely, like, the second season... Well, there are some moments... Second season also feels a little less fan servicey than the first, which I have no problem with that. I have no strong opinions either way on fan service in anime. So yeah, but the second season, it's a little worse, but hey, what matters is the content, and the content is still pretty solid. Now, I should say I have read the manga. I haven't read... Actually, I thought I had read more than I actually did. Because I thought, because where the second season ends off is actually farther than I had gotten in the anime, or in the manga. I looked it up. I am like 70 something issues in the manga, and I think the manga is 120 issues. Even though from where the second season ends, I don't feel like there's that much. So I have like, where the second season ends in the manga, I'm like, wait, how do they, like, presumably the second season in the manga is around issue like 90, probably 85, 90-ish, which is like, how are there still like 30, 40 issues left in this thing? Because definitely, like, it would definitely only take one more season to finish the show off, to do everything. It would take one more season, and yeah, to probably do the last few arcs. But yeah, I'm only 70 issues in, so I don't know how the manga ends. But I do. Because, of course, when I went looking to find a copy of the manga, when looking for it, the first thing I found was the ending. I'm not going to say what that ending is, obviously, but I know how it ends. And rewatching this show, because this is the first time I think I've watched the show since I read, you know, the first 70 issues of the manga. Looking back on it, it's so fucking obvious. There's one scene where I was just like, oh my god, they're just like, I mean, there is one moment where they kind of say what's going to happen in the second season, which is why I feel like we're a lot closer to the end which is why I feel like we're really close to the end. But there's also like one moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like foreshadowing on the next level. Oh my gosh. It just makes sense now. So yeah, I see, I don't want to say anything about how it ends. I just say I'll like the second season. Which Quinn is the best? I see a lot of division on which one is the best. I'm Miku all the way. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. I need to, if I had free time, I'd get back and just finish the manga. I finished Invincible somehow. I know it took me 2+ years, and I've probably been working on Quintessential Quintuplets for probably a year as well. I don't know. I could actually tell you. I might be able to tell you when the last time I read it was. I should look into that. Maybe I will here in a second. Maybe after this race, I'll look into when the last time I read it was. Because I keep notes on where I because sometimes you lose track of things. So I keep notes like, what issue am I at? What timestamp am I in my audiobook? Because they don't always keep track of those things, which sucks. So I do actually have a note which is just why, unlike Invincible, where I had no idea where I left off, for Quintessential Quintuplets, I knew exactly the exact issue I ended off on. Which, yeah, I thought I would be up to where, at least around where season 2 ends. No, season 2 is actually farther than where I read. But I really enjoyed the show. It's a romance anime, so go in expecting that. But I like me some good fun romance. I like some rom-com, right? Gamers is a fucking romantic comedy mess, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. Give me a second here. I'm gonna look for this real quick. It's more out of personal curiosity than anything else. Assuming this actually has what I'm looking for. It might not, actually. Let's see here. I have no idea. It doesn't actually say. I thought I might be able to get some information. No. Oh, wow. Huh, neat. Let's see. So yeah, Quintessential Quintuplets. It's one of the past few years of animes that have come out recently. It's one of my favorites. It's it and that another romantic comedy, My Life as a Villainess, All Paths Lead to Doom. It's just an anime that I thought was really good and surprised. They're both animes that surprised me. Unlike Rent a Girlfriend, which everyone said was great, and then I never got past, I think, like, episode 7. Because I did not... Nah, I was good on that one. Let's see, what other things do we have to talk about? Oh, so I last week I talked about being like, right, my recent obsession with D&D, still been watching Crit Crab, still super entertained. But I've been thinking about, and I think last week we talked about like me thinking about watching Dimension 20, which I need to get into. But there's this channel called Dorkly, who I've known about for years now. They used to have a website that used to do like comics and little like video game articles. They actually had some good stuff in the back in the day that, of course, most of it's all lost to the internet forever now, sadly. But there was some good stuff back in the day. I know one of the people who ran the Dorkly's website back in the day, Tristan Cooper, does the Can You Pet the Dog Twitter account. And like they're a bunch of like Drawfee, and they're related to they're somehow related to like College Humor. They're like College Humor's video game website. I don't know. I've seen Dorkly compared to Wacky Game Jokes for Kids. You know, we talked about Hot Diggity Demon earlier, and he has his series, or he has a series that's like makes fun of like video game companies, and they have like a fake video, like an evil fake video organization called Wacky Game Jokes for Kids. And I've seen people say that Dorkly is like the real life like equivalent of that, like losing all like the jokiness of it. That's very harsh. It's not entirely false, but it's also, that's a very fucking harsh comparison. I've liked some of their stuff, and I don't know. I know College Humor went bust. Technically, they're still around. They're still doing things, but they went independent because, you know, they lost a lot of their funding. And they did in Dorkly, I think, got wrapped up in that, and that's why they no longer have the website or anything. But when they were doing stuff, especially before quarantine, they had a series called Table Pop. That's them, like, making, like, one-page RPGs around, like, different pieces of pop culture. Like, I know they did an episode on The Office. They did an episode on Seinfeld. They've done a bunch of other fun episodes. So I'd never heard of the series. I'd heard of the series, and I'd probably seen a few videos of it recommended to me before. But I finally, because I've been like seeing all these like Dimension 20 shorts and whatnot, I recently I've been seeing the Brandon Lee Mulligan episodes. Brandon Lee Mulligan, DM of Dimension 20, great DM that I finally learned to appreciate. Oh, also, still haven't listened to Taz. I know I only have 3. Oh god, I'll talk about that next, actually. But Brandon Lee Mulligan, great DM, and so I saw he was on some episodes, and they're only like hour videos, because you know it's one-page RPGs. And I was like, oh, I'll watch the Brandon Lee Mulligan episodes. Sure, that sounds like it could be fun. And the first one was, it was cereal mascots. That's what it was. So it was like Tony the Tiger and Snap Crackle Pop, Captain Crunch. It was fun. It was like, yeah, no, this is pretty good. But then they did another episode of Brandon Lee Mulligan that had him actually like DMing. And it was based on the Great British Bake Off. And fuck me. It's the hardest I have laughed in definitely all year. Because like Fuckface used to get me a lot, but now Fuckface doesn't really like get me anymore. But the Brandon Lee Mulligan doing the Great British Bake Off tabletop RPG, I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe. I was in tears. And it wasn't just like, it wasn't like one joke. It was for like half an hour. Because it like for like the latter half of the them doing it, because it's only like an hour long. I was just in tears. I couldn't breathe. And I'd like pause the video to like catch my breath, you know, wipe away my laughter tears. And then I'd come back and then like they just tell a single joke and I'd be like all the way back in it again. I'd just be right back to not able to breathe, laughing my ass off. It's so good. I know I'm building it up too much, and you're definitely not going to find it as funny as I did, right? Prospective person listening. But I just found it so fucking funny. It was so good. And Great British Bake Off is one of the best cooking shows out there. I'll stand by that. Like, I know there's the joke that, oh, the British get awards for baking. Ha ha ha. But Great British Bake Off is just an amazing show. And yeah, a tabletop RPG in Great British Bake Off. Fantastic. Great video. Great little one-page tabletop RPG. Just super fun. Enjoyed the hell out of it. Really just solid experience all around. Highly recommend it. And I've only watched, other than that, like, I only watched, like, one other episode of Table Pop. I think I watched the Office one. I don't really know The Office, so probably some of the jokes flew from my head. Plus, it was also, like, 3 a.m. in the morning. But, yeah, that Great British Bake Off one is everything you want it to be. So, I mentioned the McElroy brothers and Taz. I still only have 3 episodes left in graduation. I guess Earth C or Ether C or whatever finally finished its prologue. And I need to finish it so I've talked, I think this year, maybe it was late last year, but definitely I've become a fan of Sarah Zed. I think Sarah Zed does some great work, and I like their video essays. So I saw that Sarah Zed did a video on the McElroy brothers, right? The downfall of the McElroys. It came out a few months ago, but it showed up in my recommendations. 2-hour video thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm curious, because I still, even through all my problems with graduation, I still think it's interesting, right? I still like it. I still like the Adventure Zone and all that jazz. I was curious. What's the downfall of the McElroys? So I started listening to it. I got about an hour in, and right, they talk about the history of Taz and all that. I find it interesting that I seem to have everyone seems to love balance, but I seem to have the opposite views on Amnesty, whereas I think the start of Amnesty has potential, but a lot of people seem to really like the start of Amnesty, and then the end, it just falls apart. For me, it's the opposite. Like, I think the ending is what, even though I know, right, the ending is just a ripoff of the ending of Balance, where you get all this sci-fi bullshit, which I always liked the sci-fi bullshit. And, one of the great things about Graduation, or the original series Balance, is that there was always kind of this sci-fi element to it. But I guess people had a problem with the sci-fi element. Like, they thought it became too sci-fi at the end for the original arc, Balance. And I was like, what? No, it was always sci-fi. What are you talking about? So I don't know. I don't get that. But Amnesty, right, I get the ending of Amnesty, more or less. I know the one moment we all love, right, with Ned. But other than that, no, even the ending, I think this is the 3rd time we've done Mario Stadium. I get Amnesty. And then, but I guess Graduation is just downright hated. Or at least, because so the reason I started watching the part about Graduation, and then I was a few minutes into the part on Graduation, and I was like, you know, she's probably just gonna, by the time this video was out, I think Ether C had started. She's just gonna spoil the entirety of Graduation, isn't she? I should probably it's kind of like the H-Bomber Guy Ruby video. I kind of want to see Ruby before I watch that video. And I kind of want to finish Graduation before I finish the second part of the Sarah Zed video on the McElroys. I guess that, and I'm kind of curious to see how this all ends. Because, I'm not involved in the community at all. All, other people's reactions, No, I don't know any of that. I don't know other people's reactions to these things. I'm not involved in these communities. I don't have the parasocial relationships trying out to be the fourth brother. Yeah, no. So so like people hating graduation, I completely missed that. I kind of see it because again, I'm not too stoked on graduation, all things considered. I think it's fine, and I'm just not blown away by it. And like even with just a few episodes, like Amnesty eventually hooked me. Graduation didn't do that, and there's only 3 episodes left, and I don't think there's enough time to do it. There's been good moments for sure, but I just don't think there's enough time to do it. And like I don't think anything like one moment can happen that'll make me like recontextualize everything up until this moment. Like, you know, that mythical, like when it comes to Sherlock, BBC Sherlock, people were like waiting for that mythical moment that recontextualized the entire show and made Sherlock good finally, and it just never happened. That's not going to happen to Graduation. Admittedly, I think Graduation is better than Sherlock, but yeah, because Sherlock is a fucking mess, but I don't know. I don't think they can retextualize it to make Graduation good all of a sudden. Or, you know, to make it better. But yeah, I don't know. I was just, because, you know, I watched that video and I was like, God, I need to finish Graduation. 3 episodes left. Ugh, I need to do it. And yeah. And then the final thing I got for WIBE tonight is, so for months, I've been doing, since I think December, I've been slowly, usually an episode a day, going through the DC animated universe. Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League, Static Shock, Batman Beyond, and Justice League Unlimited. The DC animated universe. Well, so we did Batman. Batman's amazing. I did Superman. Superman was really good. And then I've been working on Justice League since then. And yeah, Justice League is also really good. So some of those episodes, man, I still think that out of all the shows, the best episodes are still in Batman. But that shouldn't discredit Superman or okay, well, World's Finest isn't Superman, and World's Finest is still just fantastic. It's so good. Just so much fun. But yeah, Justice League has been pretty good. Some pretty great episodes in Justice League. Especially in the second season, the amount of great episodes, it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, they really packed that show at the end. But I finally finished Justice League earlier this week. And yeah, no, Justice League is really good. I haven't started Justice League Unlimited. I should say I'm saving Justice League Unlimited. But I finished Justice League and it's like, yeah, no, this really works. This was a great show. This is what I want the DC Extended Universe to be. But at the same time, we have the animated universe. So it's like, I can only complain so much because the animated universe still exists. But seeing stuff from the animated universe on the big screen, oh, that'd be phenomenal. Never will. Because, you know, we're forever stuck in Zack Snyder's grimdark, which just doesn't get... Zack Snyder just doesn't get the characters. I mean, he gets his interpretation of the characters, and his interpretation of the characters is, you know, valid enough. It's as valid as anybody else's, so that's fine. It's just not what I like. But the DC animated universe has been fantastic. But so from there, it's Justice League, and then it's like, oh, well, you're going to do Justice League Unlimited next, right? I'm actually not. Instead, I've decided to do... Oh, shoot, I screwed that up. Instead, I loved Static Shock as a kid. I loved Batman. Superman I didn't really watch, but I'd watched Justice League. But, and right, I've seen all those, but the one show I didn't watch, I saw some of Justice League Unlimited. The one show out of all the DC animated universe I'd never seen was Batman Beyond. I still haven't. But I was like, after finishing Justice League, I was like, okay, I could go on to Justice League Unlimited, but I know Justice League Unlimited has several, at least a crossover with, or no, two actually. I know it has two crossovers with Batman Beyond. I should watch Batman Beyond. So I started Batman Beyond. I'm only a few episodes in. Because I guess the thing with Batman Beyond is that DC wanted like a Batman show, but in high school. They wanted like teenage Bruce Wayne being Batman, and that was the original concept behind the show. And then the people like Bruce Timm and Paul Dini that run the DC animated universe were like, we'll make you your high school Batman show, but we're gonna set it in the future, and it's gonna start this new character, Terry McGinnis, and right, we're gonna do all this new stuff. And DC let them do it. So they made like what you'd expect, like a high school drama show to be like, right, like CW's Riverdale, even though again Riverdale wouldn't come for a few years until after this. Right, you expect something along those lines, but and it's got elements of that. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. Not. It's actually like it's a well-written high school Batman show, but yeah, no, they put a Batman show in the future with old Bruce Wayne, and Warner Brothers Warner Brothers, DC, whatever, just let them do it. That's how they let them do high school Batman, and yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Like I said, I'm only a few episodes in. I've got a lot more to see. I think it's 3 seasons, so that's gonna take a while. I think they're all short seasons. Like Justice League, because every episode is 2 episodes. I think both seasons are only like 13 episodes. Justice League went by quick. It really did. But I enjoyed Justice League, and I'm enjoying Batman Beyond. We'll probably talk about it in a few months when I actually finish it, because it's gonna take a while. But I am enjoying it so far. And yeah, I think that's all we got for tonight. Justice League, Batman, yeah. Might as well go see what that is. So, what's next? So originally I was going to do this tomorrow. Originally I was going to do this in chat. I've been talking about moving it to Friday, and I was like, today is going to be the day we finally move it to Friday. Oh, I don't actually remember this bike. A hot rod bike? I don't actually remember this one. Huh, neat. Oops. Huh, neat. I'm not gonna do it. We're gonna wrap up here in a minute. But yeah, so what's next? Well, okay. So I still have to do the Loki season. It took me almost a week to get the Loki episode 5 review out. It did come out on Tuesday. I'll probably have the next episode review up either tomorrow or Sunday. I don't know. I'm very busy. These next 2 weeks are going to fucking kill me. Metaphorically. But then, I'm done with classes and things will lighten up a little bit. And maybe I'll actually have some more time. Don't know if I'll actually stream again other than these Fridays. But yeah, the Loki review is going to be up. I did film a review for Black Widow. I don't know if it's any good, honestly. There's some parts where I'm like, I don't know. Part of me is out of practice. But yeah, especially with like not doing plot synopsis, which takes would take a few hours. But I did film a Black Widow thing that'll go up eventually at some point. I probably should have gotten it up already. I probably should have put it up today or on Thursday. But I'll get the Loki thing up. I have some thoughts on it. I do. It's an interesting one, but it's also kind of slow. And yeah, I'll get that video up on the main channel, and then I got the Black Widow thing on the main channel. In chat, I'm still thinking. If it moves to Friday or if it moves to Saturday at any point, don't be. I mean, technically it's Saturday right now, but like if in chat at any point moves to Saturday, don't be surprised. Like that's that might just happen. I don't know. I have commitments tomorrow, which, God, I have so much fucking work to do for class. But I was going to do it on Saturday. I was going to start doing it on Saturdays. Maybe the next 2 weeks we'll do it on Saturday when I actually have time. But I am going to be so fucking busy these next few days. I have about 1,000 pages to read by Sunday night. So that's gonna be fun. I have about 1,000. Because I was working on stuff right before we started streaming tonight. So yeah. But yeah, hopefully everything will be fine. Hopefully everything will be fine. Maybe I'll play some Dead Cells. Maybe I'll sit down, listen to one of my books for class, and listen and play some Dead Cells. That might be fun. I might have a good time with that. Oh, Dead Cells! What a great game. I know there's been like a DLC or two since then. Maybe I'll pick up those DLCs if they're paid. I don't know if they are. I'll look into that. But it's been a while since I played Dead Cells, which is still like the quintessential podcast game for me. Maybe I'll get around to finishing Taz at some point in the next week. I don't know. I just know tomorrow is busy. Sunday is even worse. Monday's also pretty bad. And then things calm down for a little bit, kind of. I don't know. Class today was so fucking stressful. That's all I'll say on that end. Oh my God. But yeah, yeah, other than that, maybe I'll get around to Skyward Sword. I don't know. It's still. I mean, we got a new fucking system announced today. The Steam. I know it's just a PC, but portable, which is already kind of a laptop. But we basically got a new system this week. And hey, I'm gonna have a working Switch in October. How many months is that actually? Oops, shit. How many months is that to get a working Switch? Let's see here. God, it's crazy how just like my calendar is just completely fucking packed, and then the second the date switches over to next month, it's just. I mean, it will be busy. It's just I haven't put anything on the calendar for next month. Let's see. That's. Let's just do 1, 2. Yeah, a little like 2-ish months. It'll be here before we know it. It'll be here before we know it, and hopefully things will go better. Oh, that new What If show premieres next month. Oh, that's gonna be so. What If is gonna be so much fun. I hope it is, anyways. But yeah, it's just I'm just busy. I'm just busy right now, and I like even if I wasn't busy, I don't know what I'd be streaming. But would I go back to Minecraft to finish it without accessing the inventory? Maybe. Would I be doing... Oh, God. Would I be doing Skyward Sword right now? Because I said we were going to stream Skyward Sword, and then the Switch broke, and I was like, nope, I guess we can't do that anymore. I mean, we barely did Bowser's Fury. For fuck's sake. I don't know. Would I? Maybe. But for the moment... Right, in chat is still my one. It's my podcast-ish. It's the closest thing I have to a podcast, and I don't plan on changing it. Even if the shows go for 2 hours, which I don't mean to do, it just kind of happens. Yep, that's the one thing I will keep. Not everything stays right where we left it. Everything's still changing. But, I'm glad I could do this one. Yeah, I guess that's where we should probably end off. So, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.